Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be going over the details for the EZA LR51. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And yes, 16, 17, and 18 equals 51. I've been calling this unit that ever since it came out. So but let's go ahead and see what this unit actually ended up getting for its EZA. This is a yellow coin EZA, extreme physical type here, and of course the translations came out last night. For some reason, even though this is going to be a unit that's going to be coming for global and JP, they only provided the non-translated details for this EZA. But fortunately, shout outs to the Dokkan Wiki for providing all the translations here. But this is the unit, right? LR51. And it's been a while since this has even been any relevancy for this unit here. The unit came out and it was like good for, I don't know, a few seconds, and then all of a sudden really no one's using it since then. The stats don't change because this is EZA to an LR, but the stats are really good, really strong when it comes to HP. Is 26,000, which is really high, and then attack 20,000, and of course the defense 12,556. So when we look at it a little bit closer here, let's go ahead and look at the changes and the upgrades for the EZA. So of course we knew that this was going to be a 170% lead now, boosted up from 150. So androids key +4, 170%. And then still, I'm not sure why they ended up doing the secondary leader skill only up to 100, which is basically no change versus moving it up to 120. Doesn't matter. Most of these are going to be hopefully the 130, and then this was a particularly different one with a 150 category. Sooner or later most of those will get EZA'd, so we'll move off of this little type advantage here. Now you do have the 12 key super attack, raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to enemy, and lowers attack and defense. That's always beneficial for stages that you can lower attack and defense. And then your 18 key raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to enemy, and then greatly lowers attack and defense. Would have been nice to see this as greatly raises as well, but you do have some opportunity to I would like to see greatly, because you have the opportunity to do some additional attacks and then get this off here. But it's nice just to maybe get a little upgrade on both. Now the passive skill, a lot of changes on here. It really wasn't much, but a support unit is really what this unit was all about. And now you have this unit here as key +3, attack and defense 178%. And I believe it was 78 initially. This was the obvious choice, boosting up to 178. And then an additional plus attack and defense 78% when performing a super attack. So right then and there, that's going to be really strong. Medium chance of evading enemy attack, including super attack, if HP is 66% or more at the start of the turn. I really wish they would have eliminated this HP restriction, and then increased this to high. Medium chances is very low, so a high chance would have been better, but they kind of made it up by saying, hey, well, you get a plus additional 3 key, and then chance of evading enemy attack, including super attack, plus 20%. So you have the 30%, you have the 20%, there's your 50% there. But it really would have been nice to see this closer to a great chance, especially since the exchange condition you can't change because it's an active skill, right? We'll talk about the exchange in a second. It would have been nice to be more of a dodgy unit on there versus just the 50% that you see here. And even at 70%, we often can die off 70% as well. A lot of people that have that great chance definitely know that situation. So, but it would have been nice to see this HP restriction be removed as well. So, plus an additional 35% to defense within the same turn, and launches additional attack that's a high chance of becoming a super attack for 3 turns after evading an attack. So if you evade, you have this huge benefit here. So that's why that high chance and additional chance would have been boosted up a lot more, because you get this additional defense just in case you don't. But I guess that's kind of how they built it. You do have a lot of defense here. If you do get hit, super attack, you're dead if you get hit, of course, but even with normals or things of that nature, you might be able to survive a little bit after evading an attack. So yeah, I think they're built fine. It's interesting, their design here. But here's really the reason why you would want to use this unit here. Again, how it was originally created as a support unit. This again is also a androids category, key +2, attack and defense 50%. So you have a 50% support, which is extremely strong. It would have been nice to have them boosted something else, because androids, and I'll do a quick little frame of team builds, but it would have been nice to see androids and maybe even Target Goku on here, just because maybe in the future when they boost up Target Goku, this would be a more relevant unit, or even Android Cell Saga, right? So just being androids alone, it's still really good. Don't mind me, it's 50%, but it would have been nice to see a different category on there as well. Now here's the biggest issue, of course, exchanging, and the condition doesn't change because of an access skill here. So the exchange with Android 16 for 3 turns can be activated. Remember, it's only for 3 turns. It's not a full on, you come back to this after 3 turns. Can be activated when HP is 66% or less, with another 2 or more androids category in the team, and can be activated when or it can be activated when facing an enemy who includes Cell. So unless you're fighting Cell, that's you really can't exchange on a consistent basis, right? So this is going to be very tough with HP 66% or less. We'll see how this technically operates. 2 or more android categories on the team, that should be easy enough. Link skills, they're okay. They're really common for your androids, but you have infinite energy, android assault, Soul support, shocking speed, soul for soul, fierce battle, legendary power. But the biggest issue here, you're only on 5 categories: android, join forces, siblings bond, android Cell Saga, and then Target Goku. So that is the 17-18 previously from the exchange, but then you do exchange into 16. It becomes a very strong powerhouse. You do get greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. So this is when you get your greatly, not the 18 key on the non-exchange, but you do get this on both 18 and on 12 key, and then lowers attack. And then right here, the additional little piece here is really nice. Is actually, it's not really nice. This is actually not good here. Sacrificing 6% HP. So yeah, they could have just removed this. This is not fun to have, especially if you have a high HP team. 6% is quite a bit. The passive skill here is key plus 8, attack and defense 240%, so really strong there, plus an additional attack defense 160% when performing super attack. So that alone is huge. You have a 70% chance of critical hitting, and then performs a critical hit when HP is 66% or less at the start of a turn, or if there's an enemy includes Cell. So you are guaranteed a critical hit if your HP is below 66% or you're fighting Cell, versus a 70% chance. Then you have launches an additional attack that when there is or additional super attack when there's an Android and Cell Saga category enemy, or when all allies attacking the same turn is Android's category characters. Now, that's really, really strong. However, there's certain teams that you're not going to run all androids. Unless you run all androids, you're going to be just fine. But generally speaking, some of these teams, especially what I'm going to be showing you in the Android 21, you got a unit like Bulma that's hard pressed not to leave that unit on the team. Now you do change the what's the shocking speed to tough as nails on here. So that is the change of link skills. And again, I'm not a huge fan of changing link skills. I wish they were able just to add that on. So that's pretty much the stats for this EZA here. Now when you're looking at like building a team, I'm just going to focus on the Android 21 team because that's the one that's most recently out and it's part of the celebration here. When you look at that, again, I mentioned it's going to be more used for a support unit, and since you have Bulma on the team anyway, a more superior support unit, even though she's running at 170%, this might be a team that you might be running in. And then you have a unit like Super Boo that you probably want to use on the team as well. So when you do transform, if you transform the 16 and exchange there, you're not going to get that additional super attack, generally speaking, because these units are generally going to be floating in a certain spot. Now, you could get an additional super attack if you are floating here and then you're on that main rotation of Good 21 and Evil 21, right? So that you can do additional super attack, but sometimes, especially if you're running this team, it's going to be hard pressed. Now, you might make it easier for yourself if you, instead of using Super Boo, you have Android EZA Android MVP 17, or you might look something like this where it's mostly, or actually all Androids, and then that additional super attack is going to be beneficial, and then also the unit's going to support everybody as well, right? So when you're using these other units down here, you're not going to be supporting everyone. In this case, if you're running a full Androids team, it's going to be well supported on top of that. And then maybe you want to run a Gamma 1, Gamma 2 main rotation, which might be very strong there. So that could be an opportunity there, but you might end up just running a full super supportive team. So this is what it looks like. This is everybody supporting except for Android 21, which I said when that unit came out, I wish the Dokkan Festival exclusive Android 21 provided all allies key +2 and 21% to attack and defense, right? If they would have done that, then this whole team would have been fully supported, and that would have been very interesting. So, but anyway, then you have other like teams that didn't really build out that could be beneficial, like the TOP 17-18 and then Hellfire 17, basically Super 17, right? So the Super 17, this unit can benefit on that team, being that it's an extreme class unit, and you really need an extreme class unit for that unit. That's such a badly designed unit. So but being an extreme class, that is going to be beneficial for that team. But anyway, this is the EZA 2 LR51. I think overall this is going to be useful on those Android teams on there. Would have liked to see a different boost of a support, Androids or Target Goku, Android Cell Saga, something like that, or even Siblings Bond. Then you can possibly run this on a super class team, or a team that, Siblings Bond is just very interesting. Doesn't have a 200% category lead yet. You have the Go Bros, right? But do they have I'm trying to think. Does JP have it? I might be thinking not clearly here, but anyway, that's the unit here. I think it's a good EZA. I don't think it's overly busted, but I think it's going to be very useful, and it's always good to see a Yellow Coin LR coming back to being used one of these days. So anyway, with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkan, and we'll catch you next time. Later.